Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm here today to film for you a tour of the garden, the July garden tour, if you will. Hopefully there's going to be another one in August because a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are growing, mostly weeds, but you know, that's not to say there haven't been victories as well. So come along with me. I'm going to start in the cutting garden, I think, and show you the progress on the flowers that I have growing there, and then we'll move over into the garden, and then I'll take you over to, I think, the garage after that. So we're going to go ahead and start there. There's for as much as I've been complaining in every video over the last few weeks, there has been progress, and there have been victories. So starting over here in the cutting garden, as you can see, I need to do something about the stuff that's growing through the fence. But starting over here, my dahlia actually did have a flower here, and it opened and then it died before I could get out here. But we have another bud growing, so that's exciting. So I will hopefully in the next few weeks have something to show you for this particular plant. This is the only dahlia right now that's forming flowers. As you can see, another dahlia, and all of the dahlias. So many dahlias. But they're doing their thing. They're taking their time. No rush. And then this is one of 4 snapdragons that I've got. This is the only one so far that's flowering, but it's the most beautiful pink. Oh, it makes me so happy. So we'll let that do its thing, and then I'm probably gonna cut it back to like here. So not at ground level, but maybe I'll go a little lower. But once I get there, it'll start splitting, and hopefully I'll have more flowers for bouquets. We've got this one that's starting to do something. And here's my frosted explosion grass. It's not really showing up on the camera, I don't think, but it's really cool. It's very fun. I gotta cut that back too, just to let it grow more. I've got a Nicotiana developing flowers, and another one that is not developing a flower, but it's definitely doing better than it was. Hairy Balls milkweed existing, and then my zinnias. These poor babies are just trying. All they're doing is trying. So I'm gonna give them more time. And then I have I have a couple puny little snapdragons. Well, that one was not as puny, but something got at it. But this one is puny. It's developing buds, so I think I'm gonna cut it back and just try to encourage more growth. Oh, and then I've got one bunny tail on this plant. So I think what I'm going to do with the bunny tail is I'm going to cut it back, let another one grow in its place, and then we'll see what happens. Anise hyssop is in flower, which is quite nice. I'm happy with that. And then my glads got a couple glads up. Is that what, 4? I planted 5, so that could be worse. Coneflowers and black-eyed Susans looking sunny. This is one of the lilies my mom gave me, and it's kind of like a burgundy wine colored lily. It's kind of purple, kind of red. And then I've got more glads getting up and getting spiky. My irises, which are, you know, they're done for now. And then I've got this pretty lily too, which I'm happy. I have a thing against, I don't love lilies. I'm just gonna say it, I don't love lilies because I'm just so used to like the Stella Rosa, or no, not Stella Rosa, Stella d'Or, no, Stella d'Oro. I'm so used to Stella d'Oro, and I think Stella d'Oro is, they're everywhere, they're everywhere. And I'm so used to seeing those, and I didn't even realize, like, my mom gave me these. I didn't realize that they're this beautiful pale, they're like this beautiful pale gold. It's beautiful. And I've got weeds too. I need to pull those. It's just been so wet. I'm making excuses. Chives are getting bushy. Oh, here's an example of that one lily. I got a dead flower over here. But here's what that lily actually looks like. Moranus hyssop is doing its thing. It's so nice to look out my office window and see all this. On the back side, I've got my variety of cucumbers here. I've got one of at least each. The straight 8 is kind of struggling, but the cucamelon is starting to grow up. Oh, got a squirrel. Oh, I got some Twitter-pated squirrels frolicking. I've got some lemon cucumbers here, and as you can see, they're starting to vine up and develop flowers, which is nice. Maybe I'll see some fruits growing. I've got one that's a Market More. I've got 2 Market More plants. I don't know what's going on with one of them, but one of them's climbing up, and then I've got one, or is it 2? I think it's 1. I've got one of the Parisian pickling cucumbers, and that one also is, it's got flowers and it's developing some little fruits on it that I can see. So I'll have some cucumbers soon. These 2 are winter squash, and they're sweet dumpling that I did. I'm hoping that this particular birdhouse gourd will make a resurgence, but if it doesn't, I'm going to put another seed in probably tomorrow. And then these ones right here are honey nuts. So I planted one a while back, and I planted a few a while back, and only one started doing anything. So I planted 3 the next time around, and 2 of them have germed. I think probably I'm gonna just pluck this one out and give them both some more room. Sunflower update. I feel like I'm gonna jinx it by putting it in the video, because we all know what happened to the last one I had. But we're doing okay. It's doing okay right now. For now. Over here I have my honey boats, which are my favorite winter squash, and I've got 2 that are kind of going on their merry way, grown away like Billio, and then I had all this space left open, and I think that's probably about all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna try another succession, because I do have 2 more I have 2 more here, so those will be later in the season. I've got a giant lump on my leg, I'm noticing. I don't know what I did. But anyway, yeah, I've got some more honey boats, which is good. These make me happy. They're the best. They're my favorite. And then for my summer squash, this one is my, right here we have my white patty pan, which is, you can see in there it's got some flowers. I don't know if those flowers are male or female. But for a seed that I sowed, end of May, it's made some pretty good progress. And then here I have my yellow patty pan, which I don't know, I think the squash vine borers have been on it. I've been spraying with neem oil, so hopefully that helps. I need to get some of those leaves off. I'll do that later. So that's the yellow patty pan, and if you look, so I do have some patty pans growing. Got 2, I think, right there. So that'll be cool. I didn't actually know how this plant would grow. It seems like a really sturdy bush variety. So I'll get in there, and I gotta pull some weeds, but yeah, I'm happy. I've got some patty pans coming. And over here, I've got the Ronde Denise, and I'm gonna just pull it, I think, because it's being shaded out by the patty pan, and yeah. And I'm so proud of these calendula. They're just so pretty, and they're so cheery, I feel like. So as far as this row goes, I've got this aster, which has multiple stems now, so it may be developing some flowers here soon. And my cosmos, which are tall, but haven't done anything else. Cherry tomato. When I'm standing here in the trench, it's taller than me now. You can see it's got some buds growing. I actually am gonna just leave the buds. I was picking the buds off for a while, but at this point I'm just done. I'm gonna just let them develop their fruit. We got a nice sized basil plant and my marigolds. Have I mentioned how happy I am with my marigolds and how they look this year? I am gonna definitely be saving seeds from these plants so I can have similar ones next year, because I think they are beautiful. This one's Big Rainbow, and it's got blossoms on it now too, and it's also looking kind of like a, you know what I mean? It's got an antenna. Do you see the antenna? So this is Big Rainbow doing its thing. It's kind of, I'm happy with it. More calendula, just so beautiful. This is Hughes, this is the Indiana heirloom. So he's starting to develop some blossoms as well. Cinnamon basil is starting to get flowers, so I need to cut it. I will cut it. I forgot to bring I didn't bring them out because I knew I was going to be filming a tour. Just look at these friggin' marigolds. I love them. I love them so much. This one is my ox heart, and I won't lie, I think there's a couple, some of these plants need additional staking, like this one. That branch over there is reaching towards the trellis. Not intentionally, but it's going to need more support because these tomatoes are supposed to get big. Maybe I'll cut that specific vine back. I don't know. More stunning calendula. This guy, who are you? Why have I, oh, Kellogg's Breakfast. This is Kellogg's Breakfast. So, getting bushy, getting flowers, everything he's supposed to. Ah, beautiful. Did I just stick my camera in a spider web? No. And then Garden Peach, doing peachy. And then over here, these are asters as well, and as you can see, they are developing their flowers, so we'll see what they look like when they're open. So over here we've got the buckwheat, actually. So I'm proud of this path because this path was full of weeds, and then the other day I took about 45 minutes, but I pulled a bunch of weeds from this particular path. Maybe not so much down there because it was flooded, but anyway, so here's the buckwheat, lots of beautiful flowers. A few weeks ago I actually had my dad bring his hedge clippers over, and he lopped them about halfway. And as you can see, they've just grown more flowers, which is good for the creepy crawlies, I suppose, as we can call them. In maybe 2 more weeks, probably 2-3 more weeks, I'm gonna be chopping this all to the ground and just letting it compost in situ. And for my pumpkins, which I'm super excited about, we've got here on the left, I had my jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and I think they're doing well. They look good. And then on the right, I've got my my red ichikikuri pumpkins, and so I'm gonna be pulling one of each and leaving one of each. I'm gonna be pulling one of each and leaving one of each. So I should get at least one jack-o'-lantern pumpkin for Halloween, and then hopefully one curry squash at least for eating purposes. These are my cornflowers, or as we call them in the US, bachelor buttons. I mean, it's so hard to tell because the weeds are kind of baked in with it, but I see a bud. Can you? And then lastly, got the beans. So this is the most recent succession I did. Everything germinated, and then the birds came and took what was over here on the end. So I think I might just do one last mini itty bitty, put 3 seeds down and see what happens. And then they also bit off this one. So these are my Kalima beans, which are just a French green bean. Lemon basil in between plants. So this lemon basil is between the Kalima on this side and the lima beans on this side. These ones are smaller right here because that was the first succession I did, and I think it was a combination. I think they never germinated, and I think what germinated was picked off by a critter. But this is more lima beans starting here. This was the second succession, which was far more successful. And then this is the third succession. So I think I've done 4 successions of lima beans, and everything's looking good. I'm 99% sure between the lima beans over here and the basil, separating it. This is I believe these are my black beans. As you can see, they're starting to develop flowers. So these are going to be drying beans, and I'm just going to keep them doing whatever they're doing, let them get their pods, let the pods dry on the plant, and then call it a day after the pods have dried. And then I've got another basil plant over here separating the black beans from the orca beans, or the yin yang beans, or the calypso beans as they're called. So this is another drying bean variety that can you see? Where are you? I've got a bean pod growing. That's such good news. Okay, so here's what's next to the garage, and I guess I will start with the elephant in the room. The sweet peas are dead. And my guess is they might have not gotten enough water because they are directly under the awning for the garage. It's fine. I'm gonna try and grow these actually like out in the garden next year, and maybe that'll help. Or maybe it just is too hot for them. I don't actually know. I'm gonna blame the fact that I didn't water them the way I should have. And take some personal accountability rather than blaming the weather. But as we all know, the weather this year has not been normal. It could very well have been that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fava beans are gone because they got black fly. But I do have one still going, still green. It's just a matter of time. This right here is one of my sweet potato vines. Look how beautiful. And then the coleus. Look how giant the coleus is. And I don't know if I should pull the coleus because I don't know if it's leaching nutrients from the soil that should be going to the sweet potato or what, but holy moly. I also, like, is it keeping the moisture and is it helping to maintain humidity in there? I don't know. And then the feverfew needs to get cut back, but I'm so happy with the way it looks too. When I actually have flowers, this is going to be wonderful as a bouquet filler as well. Same thing with the sweet potato vine and this coleus. I'm not sure what to do about the coleus. Should I pull the coleus? Answer in the comments below. Should I pull the coleus and give more energy maybe back to the sweet potato tubers to like grow? I don't know what to do. I don't know what the plant wants from me. This is my porch pot, which, as you can see, the nettles are starting to get a little bit decimated. But the baby's breath is looking tamer than it did last time, I think. And my rosemary is really starting to stand out. So you go, rosemary. 2 basil plants. This one on the left is supposed to go to my parents' neighbor, so I'll get that to him soon. It wasn't doing. This is like within the last 5 days, this plant started looking so good. It looked so pitiful before. Both of them did. They both were doing very poorly. And then here's my lavender cuttings in the middle. One of them doesn't seem to be doing so good, but 2 of them are looking okay. So we'll see. We'll give it a couple more weeks. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me over my air conditioning kicking on. It's hot today. But update, the lavender is in flower. It is swarming with bumblebees. So that's a good thing. And then the smaller lavender plant next to it also in flower and actually in need of a haircut. So we're going to add that to the to-do list. Coming over to the other side of the rain gauge, we also have my hydrangeas. One of them's trying to flower, one of them is in flower. So that's going to be really nice. The flowers are white for now, but they will end up being pink. Just going to get in here closer too. We have some stems and flowers starting to grow on my flowering allium, so that's exciting. As you can see, I'm inside the house now just because I showed you what I needed to. I don't feel like I showed you, well, I know I didn't show you everything because the bed next to the air conditioning is on right now. There was no way I was gonna be audible over that. I should probably invest in a microphone if I'm being honest. But next time I will show you what's happening in the bed next to the air conditioning unit. It was just the AC was on. It's hot outside, and you know what? I don't mind getting hot and sweaty, but I can tell you that my camera battery does not like it. My camera battery cannot take the heat because it was fully charged, and now it's down to half. So just for this little bit of filming I've done. So anyway, I think I've got, I mean, while I was out there, you kind of saw, I have work I need to still do in terms of things like weeding. I have so many weeds I need to pull. So it's supposed to rain, I think, today and tomorrow. Hopefully it won't rain Friday. And then I think we actually have a little bit of a dry spell or some time without rain coming, which is gonna be nice when the garden isn't flooded. I mean, I'll be worried about it. I'll be worried about having no rain, but as long as the garden's not flooded, I'm not that worried. So yeah, if it gets rain and the soil is still moist but the garden isn't bad, I will get out there and start pulling weeds, because I know that they're everywhere. Like, there's no escaping those weeds out there. So I need to start weeding. I think I'm going to get another birdhouse gourd seed in. I have nixed the idea or plan of doing, I've nixed the idea of doing the doing any more honey boats. I'm happy with what's there. I could have 10 plants, but I think 4 is more realistic and they won't get as crowded. I need to pull the rhododendron out. I need to give the lavender a haircut. I need to give a few things a haircut just to encourage more growth. Cut down the buckwheat, which isn't a next week project. But as you can see, I have a little bit of work cut out for me, but I'm very happy with what's going on. I was so surprised the other day when I saw the buds forming on those asters. I was, you know, last year I planted them and not a dang thing happened, you know? So, you know, miracles happen. And my zinnias, which those are my favorite flowers, as I think I've mentioned, but zinnias they're growing, they're doing their thing. Everything's just kind of doing its thing, and I need to worry a little less. I haven't been happy. I think a lot of us haven't been happy this year just because it hasn't felt like a normal, it hasn't felt like a normal year. The weather this year, you know, I'm gonna blame the weather. It's like, it's been a hot, wet summer here. Like, wetter than normal, you know, but we will, I mean, just because the weather was not so great this year doesn't mean it's going to be worse next year. It might be the same. It might be better. So I'm not going to even look towards next year though, because I am really happy at the same time. Like I said, I've not been happy, but I am happy with the progress that's been made. I know I don't look it, that's just my face. But there is so much that's already happened, and there is so much that I am grateful for. So I will just go ahead and in the comments below, in addition to telling me if you think I need to pull the coleus out of the sweet potato bags, or if I should keep it there because it's gonna keep, I don't know, is it gonna keep humidity in there and grow bags dry out quick? And I feel like the shade from the coleus might help to retain moisture, but I might be imagining that. I don't actually know. As you can see, I'm like hot and sweaty. So yeah, answer in the comments below besides if you think that I should pull the coleus out of the sweet potato bags. And just also let me know, like, tell me in the comments below one thing that you are it's been a hard year for a lot of us, but tell me in the comments below one thing that's been going well or one thing that you're happy with that's happening in your garden. I appreciate you taking the time to watch and spending some time with me outside. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.